Number of those lost in the 9/11 attacks. In New York City tonight, the grim images, victims of the virus loaded into makeshift morgues. More than 300 deaths overnight. I asked Governor Andrew Cuomo, when does he see the peak of this hitting? Days, or are we looking at weeks? And is he prepared for the stay-at-home guidelines to extend past April 30th? The Navy hospital ship Comfort tonight already taking non-COVID-19 patients to help hospitals stretched to the limit. Tonight, we're one-on-one with the commander of the ship and the governor, and the new concern tonight over the urgent need for ventilators, saying the process with the federal government has forced states to bid against each other as if they're buying ventilators on eBay. And President Trump just moments ago with a somber tone, calling this a plague, laying out the models, what scientists say about where this is headed in the U.S. Also tonight, the toll on the front lines, doctors and nurses becoming infected, an official at the State Department dying from the virus. 3 employees at a UPS facility infected. And tonight, the testing. One Republican governor saying there is still desperate need for tests. We're also on the front lines tonight with first responders, the paramedics, the first to come in contact with coronavirus patients. First responders describing their own fears about becoming infected and then making their own families sick. We're across the country tonight bracing for the spike in the West. Cases in California climbing 30% overnight. Our interview tonight with the mayor of Los Angeles saying we will be the next New York. In one Oregon hospital tonight, 12 healthcare workers falling ill. In Washington state, that choir practice that's turned deadly. In Georgia tonight, 24 family members who attended a funeral are now sick. And in Texas, 28 students testing positive after a trip. Tonight, the captain of a U.S. aircraft carrier pleading for help. Already 70 sailors now on board testing positive. And Dr. Jen Ashton back tonight answering your questions.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Tuesday night. And as we come on the air tonight, we have just heard from President Trump at the White House with perhaps his most somber message yet, calling on Americans to brace for a, quote, very tough 2 weeks, with members of his team, the scientists, the doctors right there with him, saying that Americans should be prepared for more than 100,000 deaths before we get through this. In fact, at one point, they said that the current projections show that even if we all adhere to these social distancing guidelines, the number could still be even higher, as many as 240,000 dead, according to the models they're looking at right now. All of this as the number of cases grows exponentially. 2 weeks ago, there were just under 5,000 reported cases. Tonight, there are 184,000 in the U.S. The death toll now more than 3,700. Now more deaths in the U.S. than what was reported in China. And as the virus spreads, at least 42 states and Washington, D.C. now ordering closures of non-essential businesses. South Carolina and Texas just today. Tonight, New York City, the epicenter, the deaths mounting here. And I asked Governor Andrew Cuomo when he sees the peak of this, and you will hear what the governor said in just a moment. Those images today, bodies being loaded into trucks. The Navy hospital ship Comfort now taking patients without coronavirus to help hospitals already overwhelmed by this. And equipment still in short supply tonight. New York's governor saying the system as it is set up right now, leading to bidding against other governors for ventilators, saying it's like being on eBay with 50 other states bidding on those ventilators. Tonight, we stay on the testing here. Maryland's Republican governor saying no state has enough tests. And tonight, we are on the front lines with the paramedics, answering the calls here in New York. They are often the first to come in contact with patients with coronavirus. And of course, as we do every night, Dr. Jen Ashton standing by with your questions. We're going to get to it all tonight, and we begin this evening with that message from the White House just moments ago. ABC's Tom Llamas leading us off.
Victims of the virus being loaded into makeshift morgues and more than 1,500 now dead across the state.
We have to look at this pattern and conclude that the worst is certainly in the next few weeks minimum. I could see it going into May.
With city hospitals pushed to the max, the Navy's hospital ship the Comfort already receiving overflow non-COVID-19 patients. Today, the ship's commander said he would speak to us. We quickly learned they are taking no chances. At the dock, a military checkpoint. They take our temperature, asking us a series of questions.
Do you have any nausea, vomiting, fever, loss of appetite, weakness?
None of those symptoms. We have to Skype with the commander from land. Only naval and medical personnel allowed on board. He tells me the magnitude of this mission hit him when they sailed past Lady Liberty.
It's unbelievable. It really hits home the impact of what we can do to help the citizens of New York. This is absolutely huge. It meant so much to me. I've been in the service for 36 years, and this is the most significant and heartfelt welcome of anything that I've ever done in my life.
The gravity of the crisis felt across the country as hospitals and state governments battle to get ventilators, one of the critical tools in the fight against the coronavirus.
It's like being on eBay with 50 other states bidding on a ventilator. That's literally what we're doing.
Overnight, Governor Cuomo asked by David about the timeline and when this virus will peak in New York.
Governor, you talk about the apex, the peak of this. I know you're relying on your own scientists behind the scenes. What do the numbers tell you about when New York City, when New York State could see this apex?
You know, David, that's the hard part. But we have a range of anywhere from about 1 week for the apex. Some people saying another 21 days. Every model, however, shows it well over the capacity of the healthcare system. So we're putting together stockpiles, we're trying to get the equipment together. Ventilators, which everyone has heard about, are key to this battle, because the people who come in with acute illness, they almost all need a ventilator. So every projection says it's over capacity. When we don't know, 7 days to 21 days.
I love you.
I love you too, babe.
In Queens, doctors and nurses scrambling around the clock.
It's been 17 hours since I got here this morning at 7 o'clock. I arrived, there's been no ICU beds. We've had multiple resuscitations and intubations. Patients are critically ill. You don't have the opportunity to sit down, to eat, to drink, barely to go to the bathroom. The most disconcerting thing is that we're losing staff members. Our nurses are sick.
Dr. Luz Aras and her husband, a doctor, have been working at their practice to ease the crush of patients at nearby hospitals.
This virus is so contagious. It's like fighting a monster with a water gun.
Her husband now hospitalized with the virus.
I think that was the hardest thing. We've been together for so many years. Oh, I'm so sorry.
The president today calling the virus a plague, warning the country faces tough days ahead.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks. You're going to start seeing some real light at the end of the tunnel, but this is going to be a very painful, very, very painful 2 weeks.
Cases popping up across the country. In Austin, Texas, 28 college students returning from spring break in Mexico and testing positive for the virus. Tonight, the Army Corps of Engineers racing to build more than 340 field hospitals across the country. This one in a convention center in Detroit, where cases are already spiking. The mayor fearing they're facing a crisis like in New York.
We could be in that situation in 2 weeks if we don't keep our distance from each other.
And the governor of Maryland now pushing back against the president's claims the problems with testing have been resolved.
Yeah, that's just not true. I mean, I know that they've taken some steps to create new tests, but they're not actually produced and distributed out to the states. No state has enough testing.
But tonight, signs of hope for some patients like 44-year-old Titu Pumachan, a father of 3 who has been on a ventilator and was put on that experimental Ebola drug, remdesivir. Tonight, he's awake and talking.
It was devastating, and knowing he was there all by himself was really hard. But yeah, we almost lost him, and it was a really, really scary time.
Very scary time. Tom Llamas leading us off again tonight. Tom, we heard the president there in your piece just moments before we came on the air tonight, telling Americans to expect a very, very painful time in the next 2 weeks, were his words. Governor Andrew Cuomo telling me overnight in that interview that he's expected that these guidelines could go beyond April 30th, that they're prepared for that possibility. And the president even talking about the images this country is now seeing out of New York. Of course, the makeshift morgues all over the city.
That's right, David. Actually, the president addressing the images our viewers just saw in the report we just aired right there, talking about the doctors and nurses going to those hospitals in Queens like they're walking into battle, and then describing the moment when he saw those Americans who have died from COVID-19 being loaded into a freezer trucks, he called them, tractor trailers, saying nobody could imagine that, David.
Tom Llamas leading us off again tonight. Tom, thank you. We're also on the front lines this evening with the paramedics, of course, the first responders. They are answering those 911 calls, and we all have to remember that they are often the first to come in contact with patients who have the virus. And so ABC's Eva Pilgrim tonight on the ground in Queens, New York.
Tonight in Queens, the epicenter of the New York City outbreak. EMS workers are the infantry, and they are overwhelmed. The number of calls to New York's 911 system skyrocketing. Every call is treated as a potential coronavirus patient. They let us follow them from a safe distance on several calls. This woman says her aunt is COVID-19 positive and has pneumonia. This is her second trip to the hospital.
She's scared.
I'm scared for her. With 20% of the EMS force out sick, the ones that can work are working nearly nonstop, sometimes with only limited protective gear. Many afraid of infecting their families at home.
Dozens and dozens of members who are sleeping in their cars because they don't want to bring it to their families.
John Rugen hasn't seen his son in a week.
Last night he asked me, he said, when you gonna come get me? And I told him when everybody stops become sick, or when they stop going to heaven.
Right now, every call is a risk Travis Kessel and his fellow emergency responders are willing to take to help those in need.
Are you worried?
Yeah. I know we're going to come down with this. At this point, it's not a question of if we are going to get it, but how bad we're going to get it.
They are the heroes on the front lines, and Eva Pilgrim with us tonight. That's an incredible snapshot of what's playing out in New York every hour here in the city as we see those ambulances racing past us, even on our way into work. You see those lights, and we cannot forget that this is happening all over the country, Eva. And I know you talked with those paramedics today. They're getting help from FEMA now.
That's right, David. Help is on the way. Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing a partnership with FEMA to bring 200 more ambulances and about 500 EMS workers from all over the country right here to New York City, David.
Eva, thank you for that report tonight. Across the country, the hotspots elsewhere, Detroit, New Orleans, Chicago, and tonight our interview with the mayor of Los Angeles saying of California and of LA, we will be the next New York. From Texas to Washington State to Oregon, where a hospital there has more than a dozen healthcare workers now infected. Here's Matt Gutman.
Tonight, a mass quarantine ramping up in Los Angeles, people moving into these RVs as cases in California have spiked roughly 30% to over 7,400.
Los Angeles, of course, will be the new New York in the way that New York is the new Italy.
With hospitals nearing peak capacity, healthcare workers are falling sick in increasing numbers. 12 testing positive at one hospital in Oregon. Nurse Irene Hunt works nearby.
I just really need this to be over, and I need PPEs so that I can protect my family.
New Jersey ICU nurse Michael Kuradakis is telling us about a son FaceTiming with his dad moments after he died.
And it was hard. He just said, Poppy, Poppy, please don't leave me alone in this world.
Kuradakis offering this chilling warning.
Once your doctors and nurses die, you don't stand a chance. If we die, you die. And that is the truth.
And tonight, new anecdotes of the virus spreading explosively like a bomb. Health authorities tracing an outbreak of 24 family members in rural Georgia to a funeral that occurred before social distancing warnings went out.
Have you seen people who you can't fix?
Very much so. It breaks my heart. It really does. I'm not used to this amount of death.
In Washington state, a choir practice on March 10th would turn deadly. The 60 people there saying they practiced social distancing and used hand sanitizer.
I heard from 20 people probably within a day or two that they were all getting sick also.
In fact, 45 members are either COVID positive or have symptoms. 3 have been hospitalized. 2 are now dead. Lindsay Burrell is an ICU nurse here in California, and like so many others, fears tracking the virus home.
The best moment is when I get home to see these little monkeys. Hi! Let me go change, okay? I missed you boys so much. I love you.
That nurse, Lindsay, doing what so many parents do when they get home, having to tell their children to stay at bay so that they can get changed out of their gear. And let's get back to Matt Gutman tonight, the mayor of LA. In your interview, Matt, warning everyone of what's coming.
Yeah, an era of scarcity, David. He said there's going to be a shortage of hospital beds, shortage of PPE, and a shortage of doctors and nurses. And protecting those on the front line is personal for Mayor Garcetti. His own daughter, David, is a nurse here.
Matt Gutman tonight. Matt, thank you. And this evening, that urgent call for help continues from the captain of that U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt. We've been following this for days now, and tonight there are now at least 70 sailors with the virus. Here's Martha Raddatz.
With the USS Roosevelt still docked in Guam, an urgent plea from its captain. Brent Crozier wants his crew off the COVID-infected ship as soon as possible. Writing to Navy leadership, "We are not at war. Sailors do not need to die." The nuclear-powered aircraft carrier pulled into Guam last week with nearly 24 of its sailors testing positive. Those crew members were removed and isolated. Now, with more than 70 testing positive, Crozier wants nearly all his sailors in quarantine conditions on land for 14 days. It is no wonder crowded corridors, packed sleeping quarters, and communal meals make it impossible on these ships for sailors to keep their distance. They will leave about 10% of the crew on board to make sure that nuclear reactor is running properly. Also security to make sure the weapons are secure. David?
All right, Martha, our thanks to you again tonight. And when we come back, Dr. Jen Ashton with your questions. And will there be a second cycle of this here in the U.S.? What Dr. Fauci has said.
No one likes to feel stuck, boxed in, or held back, especially by something like your cloud. It's a problem, but the IBM Cloud is different. It's the most open and secure public cloud for business. It can manage all your apps and data anywhere, so it can help take on anything, from rebooking flights on the fly to restocking shelves on demand, without getting in your way.
I am totally blind, and Non-24 can throw my days and nights out of sync, keeping me from the things I love to do. Talk to your doctor and call 844-214-2424.
QuickBooks salutes those who work for themselves. They're adapting to support their communities